All right, what I'm about to do is show you how to put a outer tie rod on a 2006 Cadillac, or pretty much most all cars. All right. First of all, you have to locate the outer tie rod. Second of all, the tools that you're going to need for the job, you're going to need a 11/16. You're going to need a 13/16. All right. You're going to need a half inch. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need a pair of pliers and or vice grips. Needle nose, preferably, and that's to take the pin out, which there's a cotter key in this bottom bolt to the axle, basically, of the swivel, so to speak, of the tie rod, okay? So what you want to do, all right, you want to take your 13/16. Now, I've already loosened this nut right here. There's a nut right here behind the tie rod. Here's the new outer tie rod that's about to go on. There's a nut behind this. I'll show you how to break it loose. To keep from having to get a wheel alignment immediately, anytime you do front end work, you want to get a wheel alignment. But to get it as close back to where it was, follow these steps, step by step. All right, first thing you want to do is, where's the cotter key? Okay, cotter key is here. I'll probably put a new one. I got some new ones. This is the cotter key. Up under this bolt, which, as you can see on the new one, okay, there is a hole. That's where the cotter key goes in, and it stops the bolt from backing itself out. All right. So it is send one of the grooves. You'll see it. You want to pull that out. You want to take your 11/16. You want to put your 11/16 on there, and you want to go ahead and turn it lefty loosey, righty tighty, and you loosen it. Okay. I then take my hammer, whack that a couple times. All right. Hopefully it breaks that are loose. If not, they have forks to pull these out, which I have one. You don't necessarily need it. Or, since you're replacing it, what you can also do is, if you get any good leverage, you could just hit it. Hey, he's been stubborn. That one being stubborn. Let me grab my pickle fork. Add the pickle fork to the tools. That way, I mean, you can keep hitting it. It'll break itself loose. But this is what I call a pickle fork, right? What you do is you put it in between there. Shove it as tight as possible. Let me just move my camera back. And then you take your hammer and whack it. It's the best way to do it, actually. And hold up, she still didn't come loose. You whack it a few times. And it'll work itself loose. Alright? It's loose. Alright? So a pickle fork is needed. Makes it easier. Put it between the knuckle and the outer tie rod itself and keep hitting it with a hammer. It will pull it up. Alright? Okay, then you want to hand tighten the screw back down. Alright? You want to take your 13/16 and you want to apply it to this bolt back here. All right, you want to take your 13/16 and you want to apply it to this bolt back here. This bolt keeps the tie rod, it helps align the tie rod, and it keeps the tie rod locked in. Okay, so what you want to do is go ahead and to loosen it, you would go lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, but it's actually to the right loosens, to the left tightens. All right, see, I'm going to the right, I'm actually loosening it. To the left is tightening it. All right, so what you want to do, once you get it broken loose, separate it, right, you want to screw it all the way back down, right, just by hand. And what you want to do is turn the tie rod straight like that, straight up and down. Now take your bottom bolt out, or a bottom nut off. Take your bottom nut off, all right, and then pull the tie rod up and out. Make sure that this nut stays where it is. See if your tie rod will just turn off on its own. Sometimes they don't. So what you have to do is take a 1/2 inch wrench. There's a groove here to where you can put a 1/2 inch wrench there, and you can also hold the 1/2 inch wrench in the same spot and turn this by hand. It shouldn't be that tight once you broke this loose. If it's a little rusty in here, it might take a little force, unlike this. Okay, that's what the 1/2 inch is for. You may or may not need it. I don't need it this time because look, it comes right off. Alrighty, so I'm gonna hand screw it off, leaving the nut behind it in its exact spot. See, I don't have to worry about this because this is part of the alignment, right? If you don't do it the way I'm telling you, or some ways that other people do it in their videos online, it's still, they may go in different orders than I did. But either way it go, if you do it the way that I'm saying and most other people that are accurate online, you'll get the alignment back where it was. All right, so make sure you hold the inner tie rod, right? And just twist it off. All right, once you twist it off, take your new one, match them up. Okay, match them up, look exact. Okay, so set your old one to the side, take your nut off, and start twisting it to the right arm. Alright, same way you just took it off. And once you get to the nut, it should be basically standing straight up and down like the other one came off. Sometimes maybe you gotta turn it a little bit. Look, I won't, nope. Yeah, it's facing up this time. Sometimes it does that. So one turn down, one turn down. All right, or one turn back. All right, it's good enough. All right, now I can drop it back in. This is close to what was there. I can put the new nut on there, get it tightened down. Once I get it tightened down, I'll make sure the grooves in the nut that I align it with the hole that's going through it. I'll put the cotter key back in that once I tighten it down. I'll go ahead and take my, what was that, 13/16, and I will then go ahead and tighten this down. Alrighty? And that's how you replace a outer tie rod on most all cars.